Here we go again. Hello and welcome to our regular Thinkport AWS news. Please we have a look at new services and features from AWS. It's not only a nice opportunity to share it with you, but also for us to learn more and to be up to date with new cloud possibilities. So this time is dedicated to the most important annual AWS event, re:Invent. It happened at the beginning of December, and on this week, it's actually the second part. This time it was online and free of charge. So we would overview the most important and interesting announcements of the first part. And let's start with support of EC2 Mac Instances. Peter Eves will tell us about it. Peter, please.
Thank you, Roman. Thanks for the nice introduction. And yes, you mentioned it right. There is something really interesting new. We have EC2 Mac Instances on AWS. What does it mean? I mean, it's not new in the cloud. There are other companies offering Mac instances in the cloud. But it's very interesting that Amazon now jumped on this train and really made an interesting offering. So why is this interesting? Well, you can use those Mac instances for developing, building, testing, and signing Apple application. And if you, for example, are developing Apple apps, so iOS or Mac OS or whatever, tvOS and watchOS, you can use those cloud instances for testing, for example, and automated testing and improving code quality. So what does it mean? The good thing is all these Mac instances are powered by the AWS Nitro system. That means I can use the same VPC network environment I'm used to the other EC2 instances. And I can also use the EBS storage connected via Thunderbolt 3. You know, Thunderbolt is the connections for Macs to connect external hard drives. So I'm fully in these AWS EC2 ecosystems. What's very important to know, it's bare metal. So it's not a virtualized server like you see on other instances. It's really a physical machine. So Amazon bought truck full loads of Mac minis and put it in the racks. And what you do is you physically rent a Mac mini, they are bare metal, and currently with an Intel Core i7 CPU. You can choose between different Mac OS versions. Right now available is Mojave and Catalina. Well, Big Sur, it's a newest version, I think released recently, close to the end of 2020. And according to Amazon, this is coming soon. And well, what is the biggest question when we talk about Apple Macs in these days, and especially Mac minis? What is with the Apple Silicon? And Amazon also said, well, Apple Silicon, so the M1 processors based on an ARM architecture are planned for 2021. So let's have a further look into this. What does it mean? Where can I use it? How can I use it? So the first thing is you must be aware it's only available in a few regions right now. So for us, it's in Europe, in Ireland, but it's not available in Frankfurt for now. And on the US, we have it on the East Coast, 2 locations. We have it on the West Coast, and we have also a region in Asia Pacific. I'm pretty sure, I mean, Ireland is good for us right now, but I'm pretty sure that Amazon will increase those regions, or will add additional regions in the future too. The other question is, what is about the pricing? I mean, you're all aware EC2 pricing is right now very competitive. So how does it look on for the Mac instances? So the problem here is, well, it's not a problem, but you need to know, you need to have a dedicated host. So it's still an on-demand model. Yeah, but you need to first have a dedicated host. So the pricing is following the dedicated host model. That would mean I'm paying for the hour in, I choose the price for Ireland, around $1.20 per hour. But there's a minimum host allocation for the first 24 hours. That means when I spin up a Mac instance, a Mac EC2 instance, I need to pay this $29 for the 21st hour, even if I only use it for an hour at the beginning. So I really need to think about how I do want to use it. So especially for testing purposes, it must be clear for me if I spin it up, it cost me directly $29 for the day. But there are also saving plans available. So there are not spot instances available. There are no reserved instances available, but there's a saving plan available, which means if I commit to a longer plan, I can save money. When I have those instances running, how can I connect? And that's very interesting. I have two options: is via SSH via the command line interface, or just with the GUI remote sharing. And let's have a look at these screenshots I made. On the right side, you see that is the command line interface. And look, this nice Apple Amazon integrated there. I find it so cute. Yeah, and then you have a normal command line and can fully control your Macintosh. Or on the left side, you see what we are used to. It is the regular user interface from Macintosh, from Apple. How do you launch? A very quick run through. This is not really a full guide for this. Remember, it's bare metal on dedicated hosts. So via the console or via the command line, you need to allocate a dedicated host with an instance family name, which is, well, guess it, it's called Mac1. Yeah, you can see it on the right side on the screenshot, it's Mac1. Then you launch the instance, you select the Mac OS AMI. We have currently two available, Catalina and Mojave. And then you have another instance type. You need to select Mac1 Metal. Well, Mac, because it's a Mac, Metal is bare metal. And then you can do the regular configuration details like EBS volume, security groups, key pairs, whatever is required, as you are used to it from a Linux EC2 instance. And then what's very important to know is all Mac Minis have default and internal SSD. Don't use it because it's not managed or supported by AWS. But you can please go ahead and then use the EBS SSD volumes. You have here two options, the regular one, the GP2 or GP3, or if you really need high performance provisioned SSDs, then you can choose for the, well, more expensive IOPS SSD, either the IO1 or IO2 versions. And that's it. Thank you very much. And I hand over to the next person. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. I'm sharing my screen again. So now we're going to the next exciting announcement. It's new Lambda features. And so the first feature is per millisecond billing. So for me, at least, it's very exciting. While other providers still charge you per second, AWS did it 100 milliseconds before, and now it's even for 1 millisecond. So the question is, of course, can you write such Lambda which would run less than 100 milliseconds? It's a good question, because before you just didn't have enough motivation to do it. But there are definitely optimizations which allow you to do it, to run Lambdas really fast. And now it's accordingly save costs. You can imagine, so if you have, for example, 1 million invocations, and now you can reduce this cost 100 times. So it's really a lot. So the next feature, they increased memory and CPU. So this limits for Lambda. Now we can have up to 10 gigs RAM and up to 6 virtual CPUs. And probably the most exciting thing for me is custom Docker images. So probably you know that Lambda is kind of Docker container, like managed Docker container for you. And now you have this cool possibility to use your custom images. So you basically can use any programming language, any platform, any environment for your Lambda. There's also marketplace with such Docker images that you can just take and use for your Lambda. So the next big thing is a couple of features around Docker containers, and for both, actually, for ECR, the native Docker cluster from AWS, and AKS, managed Kubernetes cluster. So first of all, now we have this public repository of Docker images from Amazon. You probably know about Docker Hub. So now it's basically the same, but from Amazon, you can push publicly your images, you can pull, you can reuse other images as well. So before it was completely private, only for AWS users, customers. Now it's publicly available. Another nice thing, but it's only announcement. It's not available yet, but should be this year. It's called ECS AKS Anywhere. So basically, now AWS gives the possibility to run your tasks, your Docker tasks. It doesn't matter if it's ECS or AKS. They work pretty similar. In the end, it's just tasks in terms of ECS or pods in terms of AKS. So now you can run them not only on EC2 instances, you can run on your own instances using AWS Systems Manager. So basically, you have the same UI, you have the same managing platform from AWS, but actual instances can be provided by you. And also nice thing, so I just came across recently with one question. Can I run my ECS cluster, for example, locally? So this is the first possibility. As I said, now in the future, you can run it with ECS, AKS anywhere, but there is another, just a small command that can be useful for everyone. It's called ECS CLI local. So it basically generates Docker Compose file out of your existing ECS task definition. So it can be very nice for debugging things. So next very exciting announcement is new features for Aurora. So they basically introduced the new version of Aurora Serverless, the second version, and the most bigger feature is auto-scaling. So it was possible to auto-scale Aurora even before, but now it's more smoothly and granularly. So before, when your cluster needed to be scaled up, it was scaled up twice. Now it's incrementally, and you can configure and define those values. For those purposes, you also have new metrics, serverless database capacity. So you can see, for example, when your ACU reached some limit, you can do some things, some triggers or whatever. It was also not possible. It was the big problem actually with RDS and Aurora in particular. You couldn't watch many things with CloudWatch and use all the possibilities, all the features of CloudWatch for monitoring. So now you can use, you can monitor slow logs or any technical SQL logs using CloudWatch, and it's very granular and it's very nice. So it's basically complete integrated now. And the last thing I would like to tell about is AWS Glue Elastic Views. Also very nice thing. So it basically allows you to combine your different data sources and use so-called views, material views from different sources, and get data frames out of it using Glue. So for example, you can retrieve data from RDS, you can retrieve data from Redshift or S3, from Athena or any other services. You can apply any SQL queries, and then so basically work with them as with data frames and write results somewhere. So it's very nice. You don't need to pull data, then save it to S3, for example, then pull again, build different layers. So you basically can do everything within one job. So let's see how it will work out and how it will help us with our big data jobs. So that's it from my side, and yeah, I would give it over to Samir.
Okay, I will share my screen. So it's loading. Okay. Hi, I'm pleased to introduce the new AWS service Monitron. It is a condition monitoring service that detects potential failures in industrial machinery and allows users to view and track evolving failures in order to proactively implement maintenance and reduce unplanned downtime. So what do I mean by evolving failures? Maybe I can give you an example. So a short story about that. It's something like I realized relative early with my last car that its time was coming up to an end. It wasn't running as smoothly as it had in the beginning, and I knew I would have to fix it and soon before it got any worse. However, it was still running and I have put it off all the time. And now you can imagine what happened right at the moment when I needed the most, the car doesn't start. Absolutely my fault. And now imagine something like that happening to your machines on the production floor. We are talking about enormous cost and time losses that can occur. So to avoid breakdowns like that on maintenance, technicians often combine 4 strategies. So one strategy is a run to failure, where equipment is operated without maintenance until it no longer operates reliably. And the other strategy is a planned maintenance. That means that we have predefined maintenance activities are performed on a periodic basis, regardless of the condition. Then we have a predictive maintenance. That means that the condition of component is monitored, potential failures detected, and developing faults tracked. And last but not least, we got the condition-based maintenance. This maintenance strategy requires sensors to be installed on critical equipment. These sensors measure and capture physical quantities such as temperature and vibration. And, as you can guess, building and deploying such maintenance systems can be a long, complex, and costly project involving bespoke hardware. So here we have some pictures how AWS Monitron can be used. Some prerequisites to use AWS Monitron. We need a single sign-on the region to be configured where we want to use AWS Monitron. And actually, since it's a new service, AWS Monitron is only available in US East 1, North Virginia. That means like for us here in Frankfurt, we can't use it in this region. And I'm sure that will come with the time, but actually just in North Virginia. And how we can set up a project in AWS Monitron. We can create a project in the AWS management console. We click AWS Monitron and then just create a project. And then under project details, we can enter the name. And if we want, we can enable the data encryption. And we can also check custom encryption settings. If we have a customer master key in AWS key management service. In the next step, we are creating user, the so-called admin users. We give them access to one or more people in our organization to the tool. And the admin user is a person who belongs to a project, a Monitron project, and who can add other users to the project. To invite other users to this project, we can invite these users per email, and then they're a part of this project. And yeah, so it's actually easy to use, to implement, but we just available in use one. And that's all of my part. I would give it to the next. I think it's Markus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the stage is yours.
Yeah, hi. Today I'm going to talk about Amazon Code Guru, which mainly consists of two services. First service is Amazon Code Guru Profiler, which has been launched at AWS reInvent 2019 and helps you to optimize code performance. It works on EC2, ECS, Fargate, EKS, Lambda, and on premises for any application. Later in 2020, Amazon Code Guru Reviewer has been added, which helps to improve code quality during code reviews. First, there was only support for Java, but in December 2020, support for Python has been added. Code Guru is available for code reviews on GitHub, Bitbucket, and of course, AWS Code Commit. But this presentation will focus on Python code only because this is the new thing. So to use Code Profiler with Python, you need to install it first. And then you can either use it with the Code Guru Profiler agent module, or you can use a decorator to profile your application. Running the profiler provides a nice flame graph as shown here for any application available and it's available afterwards in the Code Guru console. And it will help you to troubleshoot performance issues or discover anomalies or catch the most expensive line of code, as you can see here in the example. Using Code Profiler, for example, in a staging environment, prevents anomalies from being deployed to production. Furthermore, it will help with performance optimizations, and this will help you to prevent or reduce the operational costs for an application. Amazon Code Reviewer, the second service, generates recommendations for the following categories: AWS SDK API best practices, data structure and control flow, including exception handling, resource leaks, and secure coding practices to protect from potential shell injections. As I said, this is for the Python part in Code Guru Reviewer. So here we have a code example which can be used for a shell injection attack. And Amazon Code Reviewer will give this recommendation, which is pretty straightforward, explaining what to do. And this is then how the improved code will look like. And the injection attack has simply been fixed by applying what has been recommended. Yeah, that was it. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you, Markus. Thanks everyone for watching, as well for preparing slides. And we'll see each other at the next AWS News. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.